Good evening, and welcome to Fort Lee for today's matchup between the visiting Wayne Hills Patriots and your Fort Lee Bridgemen. And now for today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Patriots, number 1, Zach Bowler. Number 2, Jared Mintz. Number 4, Sam Fitzsimmons. Number 11, Luke Prasadi. And number 13, James Adama. And now, the starting lineup for your Fort Lee Bridgemen. Number 5, Greg Garcia. Number 11, Isaiah Stang. Number 22, Xavier Martinez. Number 31, M. Ogedekti. And number 44, Rafi Gideon. Let's play ball.
Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee for our fourth and final game of day number 2 here in Fort Lee as part of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament. It's our second semifinal. Wayne Hills, the Patriots 3-1 on the season, have come calling to take on the hosts of the tournament, the Fort Lee Bridgemen, 3-2 overall this season. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisic. So glad that he could join us for our broadcast of this entire tournament here, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department and their YouTube station. Well, we have one participant already assured in the final for Thursday. The Kennedy Knights, a dominant performance in our last semifinal. Now we will decide who will meet them for the championship title on Thursday. Wayne Hills was so impressive in their quarterfinal win, 64-31 over Passaic. Fort Lee, with only 6 players, outlasted Secaucus yesterday, 53-42. Wayne Hills will have 8 players at their disposal here today, and Fort Lee also will get a couple of familiar faces back in the fold, including Bem Ogedegbe, who's getting the start here for Coach Adam Schrager. Kevin Grimes is the head man in charge of Wayne Hills. Adam Schrager in his 4th season at the helm of Fort Lee. So now we're having a stoppage here before we can get going for this game. So just a stoppage right now before we tip off today's contest between Fort Lee and Wayne Hills. Fort Lee, a 53-42 victory against Secaucus yesterday in the quarterfinal round. They had 4 of their 6 players score 9 points or more, a balanced effort in the quarterfinal victory over the Patriots. So now they're trying to make it back-to-back wins against the Patriots, this time against Wayne Hills. Fort Lee in the whites. In the maroon is Wayne Hills, and we are underway with the opening tip being secured by Gaykian. We'll find Bem Ogedegbe. Ogedegbe did not play yesterday. Ogedegbe averaging 10.8 points per game, also 5 rebounds. He's a glue guy for Coach Schrager in Fort Lee. Isaiah Stang getting it over. Xavier Martinez from 3, no good. Garcia with a one-handed snatch on the offensive glass. His putback no good. Another offensive rebound into the hands of Stang. Reversing it to the far side of Martinez, now up top to Bem Ogedegbe. Martinez had 10 points against Secaucus yesterday. Here's Ogedegbe. Penetrates, kick out, corner 3, Gaykian, too long, and a rebound here for Wayne Hills. Here come the Patriots the other way. Wayne Hills put on a clinic, 64 points on the board yesterday in their lopsided victory against Passaic. Unselfish, fundamental basketball for Coach Kevin Grimes' side. Here's Fitzsimmons uncorking the 3, no good. Offensive rebound, put back inside, no good as well. Zach Muller, he is a demon on the offensive glass. Still looking for our first basket of the game, no good there by Ogedegbe. Garcia again, another offensive rebound, and neither team able to send it home just yet. Both teams crashing the offensive glass. Neither team with a lot or an abundance of size, so it's an equal matchup, and neither team with a big bench as well. Only 3 reserves for each side. Here's Stang with a crossover. Isaiah Stang pushed back, no good. Another rebound secured by Muller. Muller, the 6'2 senior, had 13 points in the win against Passaic yesterday. Kennedy awaiting the victors of this game, also watching from the stands right now alongside us in the broadcast area in the corner. Adamo kicking it out. There's a long-range shot. Again, no good. And that's going to be an over-the-back foul whistled against Wayne Hills, as it was Sam Fitzsimmons, the 6'1 senior guard, who was trying to topple over the backside of Stang for the offensive rebound. For Fitzsimmons, that's going to be his first foul, team's first. As we're coming up on 2 minutes gone by, still scoreless between Wayne Hills and Fort Lee. Wayne Hills shut out Passaic in the first quarter yesterday, 17-0, so they still have not surrendered a single point. As we're coming up on 10 minutes now gone by in the first quarter, combining the game yesterday and today's action. Another missed shot, last touch off of Fort Lee. So it's a bit of a slog offensively between these two sides early on in this showdown. Fort Lee 3-2 on the season, winners of 2 in a row. The same can be said for Wayne Hills, winning their last 2, but they're 3-1 on the season. Winners at home against Clifton and Passaic County Tech. Their only loss this year against Saddle River Day. Nice feed underneath, but an even better rejection on the recovery defense there by Garcia, denying Luke Crosati entry into a layup on the baseline. Still scoreless, Martinez kicking it around to Ogadegbe. Now Gakian, who missed on his first shot opportunity, getting it back up top to Ogadegbe. He had 19 points in his last game here at home against Northern Valley Ultaban just before Christmas. Ogadegbe, fadeaway jumper contested. Garcia skies high for another offensive board. And this is our first points of the game, courtesy of Greg Garcia. Again, neither team blessed with size, so you're going to see a lot of offensive opportunities and second and third chances in today's game. 2-0 lead for Fort Lee. Adamo, the point guard, running the show from up top, has the mismatch. Gakian against him, draws the defense in, and there's the floater finish by Zach Muller. Muller, the senior center, was outside, still had the teardrop floater in the paint, and we're tied up at 2-2. Garcia handing it off to Martinez. Martinez with a crossover, getting it up top to Gakian, back to Martinez in the corner. Up top to Stang, and Stang moved his pivot foot early, and that's going to be a traveling violation against Isaiah Stang, the 5'11 junior guard, who scored 15 points to lead the way for Fort Lee in that victory last night here at home against Secaucus. A gritty, gutty effort for Coach Schrager's Bridgman, who again, because of COVID protocols and players out of the lineup, only had 6 players in the game, and still were able to persevere. A shot inside, missed again by Crosati, the handoff after the rebound by this man, Gakian. Stang with a nice crossover dribble. Force-fed that one, and that goes awry. Goes away in between Gakian and Martinez. Another turnover here for the Bridgmen. Low-scoring pitching duel right now, 2-2 the score. More than halfway gone by in the first quarter. Here's a long-range connection, and that's a rainmaker by Sam Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons, who had 2 triples yesterday, connects on his first here. And Wayne Hills with their first lead at 5-2. Stang tries to answer with a long-range bomb of his own. That rattles in and out. Adamo with the rebound. Outlets it to Mintz down the far side, and that's going to be a reach-in foul whistled against Isaiah Stang right in front of the Fort Lee sideline. For Stang, that is going to be his first personal foul, and that's going to be the team's first. John Huang will come into the game, the 5'9 junior who scored a triple against Secaucus yesterday off the bench. Fitzsimmons across the baseline. Again, the floater. This time it doesn't get it to fall. Rebounded instead inside by Garcia. Fort Lee struggling to score here in the first quarter. Held to only 2 points for a team that averages just under 56 points a contest so far this season. Stang off the dribble. Kisses that one high off the glass and in. Isaiah Stang, his first 2 points of the contest. He leads the team, averaging 12.2 points per game. So it looks like it's a timeout on the floor. It might be an injury timeout, as they're telling the teams to keep them out on the floor. As Andre Macarenas is about to check into the game for Wayne Hills. Number 23, Macarenas, the senior guard, who missed last night's game here at Fort Lee, one of the leaders of this team. Now into the game for the first time. Adamo tries to go pick and roll, but his man went the other way. He was looking for Muller. Muller cut to the inside. He went with the pass to the outside. Here's Huang, matched up by his number 1 counterpart. Giving it over now to Stang. Stang trying to get past his defender. Gets the pick set up top by Gakin. Kick out into the corner. There's a high arcing 3. Rattles in and out. Stang with a tit-back finish. Isaiah Stang with back-to-back buckets. A quick timeout taken by Kevin Grimes of Wayne Hills. And Fort Lee with 4 straight points have given the Bridgemen back the lead at 6-5 late here in the first quarter of play. Stang again, 15 points against Secaucus last night. A gritty effort for the leading scorer for the Bridgemen. Fort Lee had scored a season-high 71 points and made a season-best 11 three-pointers in their win here at home against Northern Valley Old Tappan back on December 23rd. They were held to 53 points, again with limited personnel at their disposal last night. Fort Lee is trying to make it back to the finals of this holiday tournament for the first time since winning it in 2018 when they defeated Lyndhurst, Demorest, and then Paramus Catholic to win the team title. Wayne Hills, much like Kennedy, were late additions to this tournament field, as Wayne Hills was added to the tournament after Westwood bowed out due to COVID concerns. Kennedy was added to the field after Riverdale could not make it. Dumped down low inside Fitzsimmons, reversing it. Muller tied up on the play. Jump ball in the hustle play. Possession arrow will stay here with possession with Wayne Hills. Wayne Hills began their contest up 17-0 against Passaic in the quarterfinals. They were never really challenged after that point. Macarenas. Now here's the corner, Adamo. Adamo for 3, no good. Fitzsimmons will tip that one out of play. And an inbound upcoming now for Fort Lee. Low-scoring first quarter between these two teams. 11 combined points as we come up on the final 90 seconds of play. Stang with the last 2 consecutive baskets for Fort Lee. Garcia now handing it off to Tinsley. Coming into the game off the bench here tonight. He started last night. Here's Stang. Trying to cross over. Macarenas left the ball behind. Got it into the corner. Martinez squirting that one free. Now up top to Tinsley. Tinsley handing it off to Huang. Back to Stang. Coming up on a minute left to go in the first quarter. Here's Tinsley for a corner 3, and he rolls that one in. The first 3-pointer made here tonight for Fort Lee, Jamal Tinsley. The 5'10 senior guard knocking down the triple. 9-5 lead now for the Bridgemen. 7-0 run for Fort Lee. Left wide open up top, no good. Luke Cressati for 3. Here comes Stang as Coach Adam Schrager barking out instructions for his team. Hold for one final shot of the quarter. Stang with a little shake and bake. Nice dipsy too. And a layup there for Isaiah Stang. 6 points in the quarter for Stang. So the opportunity presented itself, and rather than just hold for the final shot, Stang took it to the cup and laid it in for another 2 points. 11-5 lead, under 10 seconds now left to go in the quarter. There's a 3-pointer for Wayne Hills and Andre Macarenas. Stang tries to get the shot off, won't in time, And that will end the first quarter of play. Fort Lee on top of Wayne Hills by a score of 11-8. Isaiah Stang with 6 of the Bridgman's first 11 points in the contest. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of the second quarter as you're watching coverage of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament here from Fort Lee High School. Welcome back inside East Gymnasium. Fort Lee rallying there at the end of the quarter to win the quarter 11-8. Isaiah Stang scoring 6 points. Big three at the end there by Macarenas, Andre Macarenas, who again was not available to Wayne Hills yesterday, netting that three-pointer just before the buzzer to pull the Patriots closer. Martinez off balance, finds his own miss, tries to get it up and in, but the iron unkind. Now Macarenas in the open floor. Fort Lee caught flat-footed, and that'll lead to another 2 points for Macarenas. He's got 5 to lead the charge now for the Patriots of Wayne Hills. They're back to within 1. 11-10 the lead for Fort Lee. Ogadegbe, step back three. He cans it. Bem Ogadegbe, the 5'11 junior guard, knocking down his 7th, made 3 of the season. First of the game, 14-10. Fitzsimmons, who's a sharpshooter of his own ilk, was thinking about a potential 3. Here's Macarenas from the far side, no good. Muller once again crashing the offensive glass. Stang secures the possession. Two three-pointers made by Fort Lee in this game. Ogadegbe just had the most recent one. Going backdoor pass, that's tight quarters to throw it to. Stang still wins back possession. A lot of contact, and they're going to whistle a travel call against Isaiah Stang. He looks to Coach Schrager on the far side, and Coach Schrager now pleading his case of why that wasn't contact against Wayne Hills and a bump foul rather than a travel. Andre Macarenas, the 6'1 senior, has been a difference off the bench here for Coach Grimes and Wayne Hills. They've been struggling offensively. They work it around. Here's Fitzsimmons, fires that one high arcer from the far side. That goes out of bounds. Last touch off of Wayne Hills, and will be possession upcoming now for Fort Lee. Leading by 4, 14-10. Coming up on 2 minutes gone by here in the start of the second quarter. Fort Lee trying to advance to play in Thursday's championship final against Kennedy. And Ogadegbe, again, all out of control, gets called for the travel. Back-to-back turnovers now against Fort Lee. Wayne Hills trying to go to a 4-1 start on the season and punch their ticket to play on Thursday night against Kennedy. And boy, was Kennedy dominant in the semifinal win against Passaic Valley. 87-62. They scored 50 points in the first half alone. Inside, nice post move there by Greg Garcia. Garcia with 4 points in the half. 16-10. Working it around. Macarenas. Getting it up top. Adamo with the defense gambling a bit for Fort Lee. Now Wayne Hills trying to set it up. Fort Lee has been staunch in the first half of games here at home this season, not allowing any opponents to score at least 20 points in the first half. As there's going to be a foul whistled against Fort Lee. In the act of shooting as well, so even though it's just the second team foul against the Bridgman, Macarenas will head to the line for 2. Macarenas knocks in the first foul shot. He's got 6 of Wayne Hill's 11 points in his first half of action. Second foul shot also good. He's got 7. 16-12 the lead now for Fort Lee. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Garcia hands it off for Ogadegbe. Bounce pass down low on the block. Gakian, hook shot no good. And a foul whistled on the floor. And that foul will go against Wayne Hills. Patriots really struggling to keep Fort Lee off of the offensive glass. And that's going to be a high-arcing 3 by Xavier Martinez. Martinez knocked down 2 3-pointers yesterday against Secaucus. He gets his first 3 points of this game. 19-12 lead now for Fort Lee. Here's a corner 3 and an immediate answer for the Patriots and Nate Crosati. 3 3-pointers in his first half for Wayne Hills. Back to a 4-point lead for Fort Lee at 19-15. As we quickly approach the midway point of this second quarter. Garcia trying to tightrope the sideline, and he does! Right on the baseline, feeds his teammate Gakian, who lays it up and in, and a timeout taken with 4:02 left to go in the second quarter. Fort Lee playing well, 21-15 here at home in our second semifinal, as you're watching all the coverage of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament here from Fort Lee High School. (21-15) the lead right now for the Bridgmen of Fort Lee. They're trying to make it 3 straight wins on the season, all of which coming here at home. They've won back-to-back home games against Old Tappan, and then in the first day of this tournament against Secaucus last night. Their only loss at home came against Mahwah 50-45 in a game that they led for the majority of the game, but fell late in the fourth quarter to the Thunderbirds. And that layup attempt off the mark. Fight for the loose ball, Stang taking it away, and then a subsequent foul at the end. Looks like it's going to go against Nate Crosati. And for Nate Crosati, that's going to be his second personal foul. He's got 2 of the 3 fouls for Wayne Hills in this first half. 6-point lead for the Bridgmen. Gakian handing it back off to Ogadegbe. Garcia on the baseline. He's got the size advantage, posting up down low. Tries that second pass to Gakian. Gakian is fouled on his way up. So the big men going high-low throughout this game, being unselfish with one another. And that'll send Rafi Gakian to the line, shooting a pair. 4-team foul against Wayne Hills. Foul will go against Luke Crosati as Gakian, 50% foul shooter, missing on that first foul shot. Still a 21-15 advantage for Fort Lee. 3:19 remaining here in the second quarter. Fort Lee led by 3 after 1, 11-8. Second shot also by Gakian is no good. Missed opportunity there for the Bridgmen to extend their lead. Adamo will pull it out. Wayne Hills trailing by 6, 21-15. Adamo straight to the cup and lays it in. James Adamo's first made basket of the game. 21-17 now the lead for Fort Lee. Adamo had 9 points yesterday in the win against Passaic. Tinsley being hounded by Adamo. Adamo with the steal. Fumbles it briefly and then tries the shot, no good. Tinsley trying to win back the possession. It's a fight, and the possession arrow will favor Wayne Hills. What hustle there by number 13, James Adamo. He's upset he didn't feel that initial steal cleanly. He might have had an easy layup opportunity. Mintz will inbound it. Muller will hand it off to Adamo. Getting it back up top to Fitzsimmons. Tinsley now watching closely the efforts of James Adamo. Adamo again, the penetration, no look, intercepted, deflected away, steal taken by Tinsley. Up top to Stang. Stang hard to the rim, left the layup short. Rebounded by Muller. Here comes Wayne Hills in the open floor. Fitzsimmons finds his teammate out in open. Macarenas missing that opportunity, and then on the baseline, stepping out of bounds, Muller, who was trying to keep that possession going. 21-17, Fort Lee on top. .145 and counting now left to go in the first half. Gakian. Handing it off now for Stang. Stang thought about the three, faked it. Steps back, outlets it now over to Gakian, into the corner. Here's Tinsley. Another three there for Jamal Tinsley. He's got 6 in the half. On a pair of three-pointers, Gakian anticipating that play, steals it, goes coast to coast, and lays it in. 5 quick points now for Fort Lee, extends the lead to 9. 26-17. Gakian again with the hustle play. Ball is loose. Gakian comes away with it. Gives it to Tinsley. Tinsley tried to float that one over to Martinez, but he turns it over instead. Under a minute now left to go in the half. Macarenas driving on the baseline, left it behind. And a putback attempt also missed by Wayne Hills. And now it's going to be an over-the-back foul against the Patriots. And possession going back to Fort Lee. Fifth-team foul against Wayne Hills here in the first half. Isaiah Stang will slowly make his way up past the timeline in the middle of the court. Gakian has provided a nice defensive spark of late. Stang curling across, a lot of contact, and the referees say play on. And it's a whistle and possession going back to Wayne Hills. 28.6 seconds remaining before halftime. Still a 9-point advantage for Fort Lee, 26-17. They've grown a 3-point lead after the first quarter. Adamo giving it over. Macarenas. He's been the leader on offense. 7 points in the half for Wayne Hills, and make it 9. Macarenas with another nice touch on the jumper. Stang being told this time again, one shot. Stang quickly dribbles down the middle, and they're going to say last touch. Off of Wayne Hills, 2.2 left to go here in the first half. Ogadegby will come back in for the inbound. 26-19 the lead for Fort Lee. Into the corner, Martinez, high arcer, he beats the buzzer! Xavier Martinez! That was one that'll bring rain. Martinez knocking down his 9th made three-pointer of the season just before the buzzer sounded. And Fort Lee will take a 10-point lead with them into halftime. And for a 4th consecutive night, Fort Lee's defense has allowed less than 20 points in a first half to all opponents playing here at East Gymnasium. So again, we head to halftime after that exciting conclusion, just beating the buzzer. Xavier Martinez knocking down the triple and giving Fort Lee a 29-19 lead. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of the second half as you're watching our 4th and final game from day 2 of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament here from Fort Lee High School. Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee, where we're moments away for the resumption of play and the start of the second half of our second semifinal as part of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament. Fort Lee on top of Wayne Hills by a score of 29-19 at halftime. They are one half away from playing Kennedy for the ultimate honors in this tournament here. Taking a look at the stats from the first half of play, first for the visitors from Wayne Hills. They are led by the efforts of Andre Macarenas. It is good to see number 23 back in their lineup. Macarenas, who was not available and here in the gym yesterday, putting up 9 points in that first half to lead the way for Wayne Hills. Three points for Nate Crosati and 3 points for Sam Fitzsimmons, also as the second leading scorers. For Fort Lee, it's been, again, by committee. This is a balanced offensive side for Coach Schrager. We saw that with last night's game, 4 of their 6 players scoring 9 or more points. In that first half, the leading scorers, Isaiah Stang, Xavier Martinez, and Jamal Tinsley with 6 points apiece. And in that first half, Fort Lee connected on 5 3-pointers. Fort Lee outscoring Wayne Hills 18-11 in that second quarter of play. Trying to get to 4-2 potentially on the season with a win here against Wayne Hills, who again, they were a late addition to this tournament field after Westwood bowed out before the tournament began yesterday. Will it be the last 2 entries into the tournament, Kennedy and Wayne Hills vying for the championship? Or will Fort Lee defend their home court and make it to play for the championship on Thursday night? Garcia denied entry on a jump ball situation. Possession arrow for Wayne Hills, and the Patriots get an immediate defensive stand down on the block against the big man for Fort Lee. 29-19. Largest lead of the game made on that 3-pointer by Xavier Martinez just before the buzzer sounded to end the second quarter. Mintz in the corner, getting it back up top to Adamo. Fort Lee's defense outstanding again in that first half. Here comes Ogadegbe in the open floor. Hesitation dribble. Finds the trailer. Here's Stang. Stang from distance, no good. Gakian with the offensive rebound. Here's Martinez again. No good, but a tip in there by Garcia. Garcia and Gakian really flexing their muscles on the offensive glass here tonight for Fort Lee, who extend their lead now to 31-19. Macarenas. Pull-up jumper, just rattled in and out. He's got a nice soft touch on his release. Here comes Isaiah Stang. Picks up his dribble, gets it over to Ogadegbe. Ogadegbe stops and pops, and now it's going to be called for the travel. Wayne Hills looking for their first points of this second half. Muller kicks out into the corner to Mintz. Mintz inside to Muller. Muller reluctant to shoot it. Off-balance shot by Adamo, and they're going to call Gakian for the foul, and Adamo will be heading to the foul line for 2-shot opportunity. That'll be the first foul of the second half for either team, as that'll go against Rafi Gakian, his first. And Adamo nets home the first foul shot opportunity. Adamo now with 3 points in the contest. Goes 1 of 2 at the line, missing that last one as Garcia gets the rebound. 11-point lead for Fort Lee. Gakian getting it up top to Garcia. Hands it off to Martinez, and now back to Ogadegbe. Garcia was thinking about posting up. Cross court, Martinez, no look pass inside. That blind pass leads to a turnover. Again, as I've stressed on these broadcasts after watching now 7 games, this 8th game of the tournament, Good ideas, but a little too much to think of there that someone's going to be receiving that one. Macarenas was off on his three-pointer. There's Garcia. He was camped out inside. Rushed that shot, though, as he felt the defense lurking from behind. He does get fouled after a reach-in foul there, and his wrist was held. First foul of the second half against Wayne Hills. Varsity will pick up his second personal. Luke, that is. His brother Nate also picked up 2 personal fouls in the first half. Stang will get it in, despite dogged defense there by Luke Varsity. Ogadegbe up and under move, left it short though. Ogadegbe fouls his own miss and lays it in. Bam Ogadegbe back in the lineup and back in the scoring column. 5 points in the game, and now a travel call on the far side against Luke Varsity. Fort Lee with their largest lead of the game now at 13, 33-20. Wayne Hills trying to pressure Fort Lee a little bit. 3/4 court pressure. They get it into the hands of Isaiah Stang. Ogadegbe through the legs, spins around, and a foul whistled before that shot opportunity. Bam Ogadegbe putting on the full display, the full dribbling arsenal there against the defense. Adamo picking up the personal foul. That's going to be the team's second for Wayne Hills in this second stanza. Stang, pull-up jumper in the lane. No good off the back iron, but there's Gakian. Hustle plays aplenty for number 44 in white here tonight. Ogadegbe picking up the dribble, looking for an outlet. Swings it over to John Huang. Huang picks up his dribble, and a timeout going to be called for by Coach Adam Schrager, not liking how his offense isn't flowing right now, despite his team being on top by 13 as we're closing in on the midway point of this third quarter. Fort Lee in control over Wayne Hills, 33-20. Wayne Hills last season went 11-4 overall, including opening the season with 6 consecutive wins. In their last full campaign in 2019-2020, the Patriots went 11-14, losing in the first round of the North 1 Group 3 sectional playoffs, as they lost the 2-point game to Ramapo. But Kevin Grimes have them playing very well to start this brand new season. Have not been able to really score at the ease that they did against against Passaic in this tournament. Here tonight against Fort Lee. Fort Lee has really been making a reputation as a hard-nosed defensive style team so far this year under Coach Schrager. Inside, the post move by Garcia. The hook shot doesn't go. Wayne Hills gets the stop they were looking for. 4 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Adamo in the corner to Mintz. Macarenas looking for some space. There's a corner three. Wayne Hills keys it up, no good. Muller rejected from behind after he had another offensive rebound and seemed to have an easy putback underneath. Ogadegbe will get the reach-in foul, the hand check called against Macarenas, as that'll be the third team foul against Wayne Hills, their third foul of the quarter. Second personal foul against Andre Macarenas. 3:42 remaining here in the third quarter. Dan Long, so glad that he could join us here in the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Fort Lee finishing off this second day of competition. They finish off the first day with a 53-42 win against Secaucus. Now trying to take control here and finish off against Wayne Hills, as that'll be an offensive foul against Rafi Gakian. For Gakian, that is his second, and only the second team foul against Fort Lee here in the second half. Macarenas getting Garcia in the air. That lulled him to sleep just the bit that he needed. Macarenas with his first points of the second half. He's got a game-high 11 now for Wayne Hills. 33-22 now the lead for Fort Lee. Into the corner, there's Gakian. Gakian wide open for three. Knocks down the sixth three-pointer of the game for Fort Lee. Gakian with 7 points in the game. On the baseline, Adamo, a whirling dervish of sorts, got bailed out as he was driving to the lane. Is it going to be deemed to be in the act of shooting? And it will be. And that foul is going to be going against Gakian. That's a costly foul, as now the Fort Lee big man, the 6'3 senior, with his third personal foul. He's just picked up a couple of fouls in the last couple of seconds, as Adamo will knock down the foul shot. 4 points now for James Adamo. Second foul shot also good. And a timeout given to Coach Grimes of Wayne Hills. Stopping things here with 2:43 left to go in the third quarter. 36-24 the advantage for Fort Lee. Trying to make it 3 consecutive wins on the season and 3 straight wins here at home against quality competition. Fort Lee began their season on the road against Riverdale. They dropped a 5-point loss in Oradell, 55-50. Then they hit the road against Harrison and whitewashed the competition. 60-22 blowout victory for Fort Lee. Their biggest victory since 2018. Then they came home for their home opener against Mahwah, lost a heartbreaker, like I said, against the Thunderbirds. They led for the majority of that game, but then fell apart late in the game. Mahwah scored the last 8 unanswered points in the contest to take a 50-45 win. But now impressive back-to-back performances and trying to build on a third straight here tonight against Wayne Hills. Gakian getting it over. Ogadegbe just gets it over in time to avoid the 10-second call. 2:25 and counting left to go in the third. 12-point lead for Fort Lee. Stang pulling it out. Wayne Hills trying to pressure Fort Lee a little bit more. Nice give and go. Unselfish feed underneath. Gakian to a wide open Garcia. Garcia now with 8. And Gakian did a good job of not trying to bull his way to the hoop himself and maybe pick up a 4th foul. Macarenas shakes and bakes and drops it down. 13 points in the game for Andre Macarenas. 38-26 now the lead for Fort Lee. Dangerous pass being contested, and it's going to be last touched out of bounds by Adamo. Possession stays with Fort Lee. Stang sees the double team come to him. He turns it over. Fitzsimmons misses the layup, though. Missed opportunity there for Wayne Hills. Ogadegbe losing his footing. Still no foul in the play. Ogadegbe getting it to Garcia on the far side. Garcia up and under. No answer right now for number 5 in white. Garcia with a game-high 10 for Fort Lee. 40-26, the lead now grows to 14. Adamo once again so adept at drawing the contact, as it will be another foul whistled against Fort Lee with another one of his drives to the hoop. 4th team foul for Fort Lee, 3 team fouls for Wayne Hills. Here's Fitzsimmons from straight away, no good. Another opportunity for the Patriots. Macarenas' 3, no good. And another long carom leads to another chance on this possession for the Patriots. Back-to-back offensive rebounds with under a minute left to go in the quarter. On the baseline, rejected, but no, it's going to be a foul. And is that against Gakian? And that is foul number 4 against Rafi Gakian. And he will definitely have to check out of this game soon. 54.4 seconds left to go in the quarter. And Rafi Gakian, who has chipped in 7 points, countless number of hustle plays and steals. And now Gakian, who's been in foul trouble at different times throughout these home games this season. He picks up 3 quick fouls in the third quarter and will have to take a seat for a while, he'd have to think. Adamo missing a pair of foul shots, though. Under 50 seconds left to go in the third. Ogadegbe, as Wayne Hills has to extend their defense a bit, not allowing Fort Lee just to operate and burn some time off the clock here late in the quarter. Stang getting bumped a bit, and now a late foul call whistled against Adamo and Wayne Hills. Fourth team foul against Wayne Hills. The fouls started to pile up for both teams after it was a really cleanly played first half. 25 seconds in the quarter. Ogadegbe trading it back to Stang. Stang looks inside of Martinez. Martinez tried that extra pass, a good intention, but fumbled off of the foot of Garcia last, despite the protests of some of the home faithful here at Fort Lee. 40-26 lead. Wayne Hills trying to get it up the floor quickly. Fitzsimmons on that far side wing, getting it back up top to Adamo. Fitzsimmons left lonesome again, and Fitzsimmons makes Fort Lee pay. Another three-pointer for Sam Fitzsimmons. That was a breakdown defensively for Fort Lee. He was the one guy from the outside that is dangerous in this game for Wayne Hills, and we'll see if Wayne Hills will spark themselves now with that effort at the end of the third quarter, as Fitzsimmons passed up a couple of three-point opportunities, but then eventually fired home that last one. His second made 3 of the game to give him 6 points in the contest. And after 3 quarters, it's Fort Lee on top of Wayne Hills, 40-29. Don't go anywhere, as we'll have an exciting fourth quarter play coming up next to decide who will join Kennedy in the 2021 Holiday Tournament Final. Head to the fourth quarter. Fort Lee on top, 40-29. They've led by as many as 14 just moments ago in this game. The Bridgemen trying to go to 4-2 on the season and also play for the Holiday Championship Tournament final on Thursday night against Kennedy. As you're watching coverage of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament, being hosted here from Fort Lee's East Gymnasium. Dan Long, so glad you could join us on the Bridgeman Athletics YouTube channel. Tinsley, quarter 3. Bumped off the line, no good. Good defense there by Fitzsimmons, preventing Tinsley from setting and firing. Tinsley has already knocked down a pair of threes in this game. Again, will there be some momentum on Wayne Hills' side after that late 3 there by Fitzsimmons just before the buzzer sounded? Macarenas posting up underneath, and that's going to be a travel against number 23 in maroon. Garcia kind of pulled the chair out from underneath him. Fort Lee without the services of one of their big players in the lineup, Gaykin, who has 4 fouls. Bounce pass anticipated, turnover. Here's a big possible 3. Mins for 3, no good. Tipped out in space, Adamo wins back possession. New life here for the Patriots of Wayne Hills. 3-1 on the season. Looking to go to 4-1 and make it an all Passaic County final against Kennedy. Adamo with 5 points in the game. Now Mintz back to Adamo. On the baseline, it's Muller. Muller, who has only 2 points, trying to find Macarenas. Stripped out of his hands. Macarenas has 13 of Wayne Hills' 29 points in the contest. Fitzsimmons is the second leading scorer with 6 in the game. Here's another 3 from Fitzsimmons, no good. And rebounded out to Ogadegbe. Ogadegbe, power dribble past the defense. And now a whistle from up top Fitzsimmons trying to say that it was a push-off against Ogadegbe, and that's how he was getting past his defensive work. They're going to say a foul on the floor, so both teams now with 5 fouls apiece. 6:27 left to go in regulation. Where was that inbounds pass? Tinsley going wide of the mark significantly. And that'll be an unforced error there. And a turnover that gives the ball back to Wayne Hills. This game is far from being done. Fort Lee playing a little lazily in the last couple of possessions. Inside, Macarenas. Good defense in the interior there by Fort Lee, forcing the miss. Macarenas now with a floater, and he'll get it to drop. Andre Macarenas with 15 points in the game. Wayne Hills now back to within 9. Tinsley up the floor, deflected off of the hustling Sam Fitzsimmons. But again, as you've seen throughout this game and also other games, it's been tough for the big men, including Greg Garcia, to field those bounce passes low at their ankles. Tinsley getting that as Wayne Hills was trying to say he was still out of bounds when he received that pass. Referee right there to beg otherwise. And there's another three by Jamal Tinsley. Tinsley's third triple of the game. 9 points off the bench for the 5'10 senior. Fort Lee is killing Wayne Hills behind the arc. Adamo inside. Muller, nice give and go, and they find the 6'2 senior center, Zach Muller, for his second made basket of the game. Tinsley from just inside the arc. He's feeling it. 5 straight points for number 2 in white. He's got 11 in the game for the Bridgemen. Macarenas, deep three. Off the back rim, no good. And that's going to be last touch out of bounds off of Muller. And Wayne Hills with possession going back to Fort Lee. The Bridgemen leading by 12. 3 minutes exactly gone by here in the fourth quarter. Full court pressure here for Wayne Hills. Ogadegbe finding Tinsley in the open floor. Tinsley to Martinez, transition three. Needed a little more time to set himself. There's Tinsley. Dropping that one in, and Garcia stripped on his way up. As once again, Fort Lee dominating on the glass. Getting second and third opportunities on this one possession. That'll send Greg Garcia to the line, shooting 2. Tinsley leads the charge for Fort Lee with 11 points in this game. Garcia rattles in and out just behind him with 10. Garcia also a 50% foul shooter. Garcia, nice form on that one. He'll rattle it home. 11 points in the game for Garcia. 46-33. Here's Mintz for 3. That's a must-have for Wayne Hills. Jared Mintz with the knockdown 3. Again, the full court pressure frustrating Fort Lee a bit, but they do break it eventually and get it into the hands of Tinsley. Ogadegbe. It's going to be a foul whistled on the floor against Wayne Hills, and that is the 7th team foul against the Patriots. So that will send Bem Ogadegbe to the line shooting 1-1 with 4:14 remaining here in the fourth quarter, and the lead 10 for Fort Lee. Ogadegbe is 78% foul shooter on the season. First foul shot rattled in and gets the nice shooter's roll. And Ogadegbe is going to be awarded a second opportunity at the line. Bem 6 points in this game after missing last night's game. Gets that nice touch on the roll as well. 7 points for number 31. Back to a 12-point lead. Coming up on the midway point of the fourth quarter. Mid-range jumper is short. Luke Cresciati not able to do a lot here today. Macarenas doing a good job of tying things up underneath against Ogadegbe. And possession arrow will favor Wayne Hills. Varsity still scoreless after putting up 16 points in the win yesterday against Passaic. Adamo driving right to the lane. Pull-up jumper on the baseline, no good. Varsity trying to keep it free. Knocked off of the shins of Isaiah Stang, who takes it and breaks out the other way. And it's going to be a reach-in foul against Macarenas, who is shocked that he gets called for the foul. That will at least stop the clock for Wayne Hills, and once again will send Fort Lee to the foul line, shooting 1-1. 8th team foul. Isaiah Stang, who struggled at the line last night here against Secaucus, nets that one easily as his first foul shot of the night goes down. 7 points of the night now for Isaiah Stang. Averages 12.2 per contest to lead the Bridgman this season. Stang makes it 2 for 2. He's got 8 in the game. Fort Lee hitting their foul shots when it matters the most. They've stretched the lead back to 14. 50-36. They've put on a defensive show here tonight in the semifinals. Wayne Hills again trying to initiate the contact, and that's disrupting their shots. Here comes Stang, and Stang gets his pocket pick. Loosey-goosey dribbling, leads to the breakout the other way for Macarenas. Andre Macarenas lays it in. 17 points on the night for number 23. And a quick timeout taken will stop the clock with 3:24 remaining here in the fourth quarter of play. Fort Lee trying to outlast Wayne Hills 50-38. If they can, Fort Lee will then advance to play on Thursday night in the championship final of this Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament against Kennedy. Kennedy, outstanding in the other semifinal, 87-62 winners against a very good Passaic Valley team. If Wayne Hills loses, they will take on the Hornets, a team that they will face twice more this season as league rivals. Wayne Hills plays out of the Big North Independence Division. Fort Lee out of the Big North American. Now after the timeout, Gakian will inbound it to Ogadegbe. Full court pressure being displayed by Wayne Hills. Ogadegbe, dangerous bounce pass. Garcia missed it after he got it blocked, but Gakian fills in the gaps and cleans up the miss. 9 points for Gakian. He has done all of the little things to help Fort Lee get a lead. He's playing with 4 fouls, though. Macarenas, step back jumper off the mark, airballed it. Garcia looking to trigger the breakout. Stang down the floor to Gakian. Double team coming right in front of the Fort Lee sideline, and Adam Schrager will have to use a timeout as he saw Isaiah Stang getting trapped in no man's land there and could have been leading to another turnover. 52-38 the lead for Fort Lee. They're looking good right now late in this game, trying to make it 3 straight wins and set up a potential showdown with Tommy Patterson's Kennedy Knights, who have caught fire in this tournament. Again, Kennedy and Wayne Hills both were last-second additions to this tournament. Riverdale and Westwood were the original participants that were invited to participate in this year's event. They both had COVID issues on their rosters, had to bow out of the tournament at the last second. Wayne Hills and Kennedy have been great participants and additions to this field. As that'll be a foul right away on the inbounds, as Ogadegbe was knocked down, and Bem Ogadegbe will make his way to the foul line again with the clock stopped with 2:45 remaining. That's the 9th foul of this half for Wayne Hills, so every ensuing foul is going to be 2 shots the rest of the way for Fort Lee. Ogadegbe once again having the shooter's role in the last couple of foul shot opportunities. You don't get style points. Doesn't count anymore if you swish it and don't hit iron. That time he does swish it. 4 straight from the foul line for Bem. Ogadegbe with 9 in the game. 54-38, the advantage now for Fort Lee. Macarenas, again, he might be running out of gas a little bit himself. Last 2 jumpers have not connected on anything. 2:35 left to go in the game. Good hustle attempt there by Adamo. The last touch off of him out of bounds, and will be again the inbounds upcoming for Fort Lee. 2:33 remaining in our ball game. About to finish up our 8th game of this tournament, 8th broadcast, and we thank you for tuning in and supporting these great student athletes from both these schools and from all of the schools throughout this tournament. And there's a hard-earned turnover forced by Wayne Hills. Adama with a blanket coverage, shadowing Ogadegbe stride for stride. Inside, Muller gets fouled on his way up, slapping down on the man, and the ball was Jamal Tinsley. And Wayne Hills content with stopping the clock and keeping hope alive in this game. Got to make your foul shots now. Muller misses on the first foul shot. Zach Muller, 4 points in this game, 13 yesterday against Passaic. Great rebounding big man for Wayne Hills. He misses a pair. Luke Crissati gets the offensive rebound. Now Mintz sets and fires from 3, no good. Another offensive rebound for the Patriots, and another shot left short. Here comes Ogadegbe the other way. Ogadegbe is stripped on his way up. They're going to say last touch off of Adamo, and Wayne Hills was trying to protest that it was last touch off of the Bridgman player himself. 2:07 left to go here in the fourth quarter. 54-38. And a whistle here, and it looks like it's going to be another timeout taken by Coach Schrager. Not making sure that nothing happens here as his team fights their way to the finish line. They won 53-42 against Secaucus last night, held on to win despite having only 6 players, getting 2 more players to their roster here tonight, including Bem Ogadegbe, who's been a great addition back to the lineup. 9 points for the junior guard. But again, balanced attack once again for Coach Schrager. Greg Garcia, 11 points. Isaiah Stang with 8. Xavier Martinez with 6. Bem Ogadegbe with 9. And Rafi Gakian also chipping in 9. And if they are going to advance to Thursday's final, they are going to have a big challenge. And I say that literally and figuratively awaiting them in the finals, as Kennedy will definitely have the size advantage against the Bridgman on Thursday, but you never know based on how Fort Lee has been able to shoot the three-point shot. That's the ultimate equalizer against bigger teams that could pose a size advantage and a size problem. But still 2:07 before Fort Lee can make those reservations for Thursday's final. Ogadegbe bounce pass into Stang. He's now watched by Sean Lemchak, number 21. Gakian hands it off for Ogadegbe. Ogadegbe swarms, surrounded, and stolen away, and then Ogadegbe called for the reach-in foul. That'll be the 7th team foul against Fort Lee. So the frustration foul against Ogadegbe only his first, but once again the foul stops the clock and now sends Wayne Hills to the line. Chance to cut into that deficit without the clock running. But once again, Wayne Hills not making the most of those opportunities. Nate Crissati missing the front end of the 1-on-1. He gets bailed out after its last touch off of Fort Lee. Tinsley anticipating that one beautifully, getting into Ogadegbe. Ogadegbe sails the other way for the transition layup. But credit the assist there on the defensive play by Jamal Tinsley. He's been brilliant here today for Fort Lee. Missed layup by Wayne Hills. Fitzsimmons tracks it down in the corner. Looks for an outlet inside. Another layup missed by the Patriots. Might be tired legs right now for Wayne Hills. And a foul from behind against Wayne Hills. That'll be the 10th team foul against the Patriots. And now it's 2 shots the rest of the way for Fort Lee. Jamal Tinsley, 11 points. A couple of key defensive shutdowns. As Ogadegbe missing the foul shot. His first miss at the line here tonight. He's 4 for 5. Ogadegbe goes 1 of 2. Now 12 points in the game for Bem. 57-38. Fort Lee pulling away late here in the fourth quarter. As a lid has now just been put on the hoop that Wayne Hills has been attacking. .38 points. And another steal, this time by Tinsley. Gets it up top to Ogadekwe behind the back. Goes to the right-hand side of the rim. Good sportsmanship by Fitzsimmons to help him up. And Bem Ogadekwe is just feasting at the line here in the fourth quarter. He's 5 of 6 in the fourth quarter alone from the foul line. As that one deadens off the back of the rim and falls down for another point. 13 of the game now for Ogadekwe. Goes 1 of 2. Ogadekwe now the high point man for the Bridgemen here tonight. Give and go inside. Muller missing the layup. Nothing going right for the Patriots as Isaiah Stang has it. Outlets the other way as Tinsley. Good sportsmanship there by Fort Lee of pulling it out and just wasting some time. As we come up on the last 40 seconds of regulation here. What a performance by the home-sided Bridgemen of Fort Lee. On top by 20 here. As they will roll their way into Thursday's final against Kennedy. And a matchup awaiting them against the Knights. Adam Schrager's side now making it 3 straight wins on the season, all of which coming here at home. As they throw that one out of play for a turnover. Wayne Hills will have their 2-game win streak snapped. They'll fall to 3-2 and have a tough matchup awaiting them against a very game and angry Passaic Valley team. As Muller will lay it up and in on the offensive rebound. 6 points in the game for the big man for the Patriots. Dakian will dribble out the remaining seconds, and Fort Lee will finish it off with a 58-40 win here at home against Wayne Hills. Another stellar defensive performance for the Bridgemen, as Fort Lee will go to 4-2 on the season and advance the play in Thursday night's final, while Wayne Hills will fall to 3-2 on the year and will take on Passaic Valley in the third-place game. So that'll do it for day 2 of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament. We have everything set, and we'll invite you back here on YouTube on Thursday for the 7th place, 5th place, 3rd place, and championship games. All will be brought to you courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department's YouTube channel on Thursday. So no games tomorrow, 4 more on Thursday as we'll put a bow on this holiday tournament. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to Renee Matisich, also to Dimitri Nanis. I'm Dan Long saying so long from Fort Lee. Take care. We'll see you back here on Thursday.